I want to thank everyone for coming to tonight's meeting. If everyone could please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let us pray. God, our provider, in a little bit over a week, we'll gather in homes and some people in this very space to give thanks to you for the bounties that you give us and that you give us the mission to be stewards over. And so tonight as we gather, we pray for your blessing upon those who are here. We pray, Lord, that we may steward well all that has been placed in our hands, that you might bless this town and bless what will be decided and what will be discussed tonight. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you. May be seated. This time I'll call the meeting to order. Liz, can you do roll call?
Michael Savani.
Here.
David Kingston.
Here.
Danny Bragg.
Here.
Eric Gifford.
Here.
Levi Schwab.
Here.
Ronald Stone.
Here.
Michael Flood.
Here.
We do have a forum.
Thank you. We have minutes from the November 4th meeting. Anybody have any corrections or revisions? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion. We accept the minutes from the November 4th council meeting.
Second.
I have a motion and a second as presented. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Passes. Are there any special presentations that are not on the agenda? Moving on to consent agenda, there are 7 items. Anybody have any questions, concerns, comments for the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion. We accept the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
That was Eric motion, Daniel second. I'll explain that in a minute. So there's a motion and a second as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Take a pause real quick. We're doing the minutes via an AI voice. And without if you say a motion, can you state your name afterwards and then second, state your name? It'll make the translation easier to generate into Word. So it'll be hard to do that at first, but as we go, it'll get better. Right, Michelle? All right. So, old business, we have Comcast fiber encroachment permit amendment request.
Good evening.
Good evening.
About a week ago, I had a request from Comcast, reference the Old Town project that's going on. They asked to deviate from the plan that this council approved a couple of months ago. So instead of trying to explain it to you, I invited Comcast and MasTech to come and explain what the differences are, answer any questions the council might have for their decision.
Hi, Aaron McKenzie with Comcast. Originally, we had planned to go down the west alley of Main Street. After calling in locates for that area, we deemed it not feasible to build that due to existing underground utilities. We're proposed to reroute here in 3 different areas. It's a little bit less than 3,000 feet. So the first one here is 4th Street and Georgia. The second one here is on 5th Street and Georgia as well, and then on 6th Street in Georgia. And we provided Scott with prints, and we'll provide Brian with prints as well of the new route.
Sure. You draw the council's attention to what page in your packet, because they have in front of them your.
Let's start with the first one.
Yeah, so the first one, it's kind of a zigzag coming down the alleyway between
page?
Adams and Georgia.
Which page?
Page 1.
Page 1 has a map of all of it real tiny.
That's our page.
That's our page 1.
Oh, that's your page 1?
Yes.
Okay. Those maps are the entirety of the whole town. My
Correct.
page 1 looks a little bit different.
Well, we have several pages. That's what we're trying to.
Okay, scroll down. I can see it there. And I'm not sure what page it would be on that submission there.
You know, Liberty Screen. It's it. That's it. 13 pages. Go ahead.
So that's the west side of town, correct?
So we do show Georgia on the page 11.
Okay.
Yeah, third, fourth, Georgia.
Yeah, it would be Georgia just on the south side of Fourth Street.
See that. And then the last page, this is page 11. So Main Street's right there. So that's Georgia. That's Ohio. There you go.
So you're approved to go in the alley. What is your plan now? Since we have some visual reference.
Well, let's have a question. You said you can't go down the west alley of Main Street, but Georgia's east of Main Street.
Correct. So we need fiber continuity to the east side of town, and it was originally coming across Main Street between the two alleys, which is not feasible to build due to other underground
I
utilities.
understand that.
Yeah, so the new proposal is to tie our fiber in a different way to feed
All
the
the way
south.
down Georgia.
Yeah, not all the way down Georgia, no. So the new piece starts here, and I can hand you this if you want.
I'd rather you verbally tell me here doesn't get it. Give me an intersection. It starts where?
So this would be the alley just north of Fourth Street
Okay.
and west of Georgia, or sorry, east of Georgia is where we would start. That's where our existing fiber is. So we would come down that alley towards Fourth Street. And then once we hit the south side of Fourth Street, we would go west to Georgia, to the west side of Georgia Street, and then come south towards the alley between Fourth and Fifth Street and stop there where our existing fiber is.
You guys are aware of the fact that you cannot dig in Fifth Street, the Brick Street.
Dig under or,
So you can bore under it, but you cannot.
You cannot open cut Fifth Street.
okay. Yeah, we would not be crossing Fifth Street.
Okay.
So this plan is to be, there's three parts to this continuity here. And if we're good with that first one, we can move on to the second one, which is Fifth Street.
You can move on. I don't know if we're good yet, but you can move on.
Okay, so the second piece here would be coming just south of Fifth Street.
Well, before you keep going, do we have the right slide up there?
It's the last page.
John? You're pointing to a piece of paper at a podium and saying it here, and that does us.
I know,
no
I'm
good
trying to
at all.
explain it the best I can here.
Well, you're failing.
So again, what page?
Last page, 13.
Thank you. Here we go.
So you should have Fifth and Georgia here, correct?
All right.
Okay.
So we've got existing fiber right now on the intersection, the southwest intersection of Fifth and Georgia. We're proposing to tie into that, come up to the south side of Fifth Street, bore along Fifth Street, going west to the alley between Georgia and Maine.
Okay.
And the third piece here would be starting on the northeast corner of Sixth and the alleyway between Adams and Georgia, where our existing fiber is, coming south to the southeast corner of Sixth Street in that alley, and then running underground west along the south side of Sixth Street, ending at the southwest intersection of Sixth and the alley between Georgia and Maine.
Those little boxes. Yeah.
May I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
Paramount question is the pedestals where you can come above the surface. Are those all now contemplating curbside?
Yes, for these ones are alleviating pedestals that are on the main street. So there are two structures here, one being on the, what would that be? Southeast corner of Fifth in the alley. It would be mainly in the alley though. There's another one that would be on the southwest corner of Sixth Street in the alley. Once again, predominantly in the alley, not so much front easement.
Are these at grade pedestals or are they above grade?
These will, might keep me honest here. These look to me like,
At grade.
At grade.
That's great.
yeah, these would be great.
Sorry, how many did you say of these three contingencies? How many pedestals?
With this new contingency, there would be 1, 2, 3, 4 additional pedestals. But those are going to be at grade, not pedestals, just to be clear there.
Mr. Kirby, you don't have to stand. Obviously, you probably reviewed this. Is this what they sent you?
Yes.
Okay,
Best I can decide.
okay. So you probably following this along better than most since you,
No, no, no.
okay, well,
Mr. President, your new inspector now seemed like, have one comment.
Yeah.
On the spot. Hi, Mr. Patty.
see, I told you earlier, you sit back there, we're calling you up, so come on up. No, come on up.
I would hesitate to make a comment as of yet. I would want to be able to review these and look at them in a much more thorough manner. Cause I am not following what he's saying per se.
My recommendation is to let the two of you get with our new inspector. And we'll look at this amendment at our next meeting.
Okay, we can do that.
I'm sure. If everything's falls in line, I don't see why we would not amend it, but I don't want to push something through that we haven't had time to review because there's a lot of unhappy people with the subcontractors that you have in our town.
Yeah, and everything that has been brought up to our attention has been corrected so far. So,
Now, I still have a pedestal in my yard and I was told I was getting it at grade level, so it's not been corrected yet.
okay, I'll get with you after the meeting and make sure that's addressed.
Okay. Because it was supposed to be ground level. And I don't remember the gentleman's name that emailed it to me, but I didn't ask for it. It was offered and that was in July. And it's still not done, so I really don't trust anything you guys say.
Understood.
So get with that gentleman and we will revisit this at our next meeting.
All right, thank you.
Okay. What are you shaking your head for, Vance?
Don't get me started on.
I'm not getting you started.
I'm gonna make a comment.
I know you will. But thank you, gentlemen, for coming and work with our new guy. Yes, Mr. Kirby.
I believe the next thing on the agenda was the financial for 236th Street. Is that correct?
It is.
So the team has been working very hard on the application for the 236th Street call for federal funding. One of the things that we need to do is have the council codify a commitment letter. So I talked to Mr. Nicely, Mr. Bertrand, and several others today. So I believe Mr. Nicely has come up with a resolution and I'll let him explain it.
This is a resolution adopting a financial plan for funding 236th Street. I worked with to identify potential funds that this project would be funded with, and it had an exhibit, a letter from President McBaney. You're essentially just submitting a letter and this resolution confirming that you have a financial plan in place to fund this project.
in so much as this is a multi-year plan. It starts in 2026 with the preliminary engineering, goes through 2028 with the right-of-way, and then 2030 before we would actually start construction. We believe that the initial cost for the preliminary engineering can be covered from, or at least the local match, can be covered from the road impact fees that are currently held by the town, along with money in the restricted MVH and local road and street funds. I believe that gets us through 2026 and 2028 as it relates to engineering and right-of-way. When we get to the $1.6 million approximately in 2030, it will be a combination of funds because I can't predict what we'll have on hand, especially from road impact fees. Most likely what I would believe is that we would need to do some type of financing at that point in time, either a general obligation bond or a lease rental bond of some sort to generate the funding to hit that 20% match of 1.6 million. But that's enough of a plan to meet NDOT's specifications to at least say we've laid something out. But I'd be happy to address any questions you might have on the particulars.
Anybody have any questions for Mr. Higgins or Mr. Kirby? Anything to add?
I was just saying, this application due December 5th. So Nick, that of a CMP or engineer has been leading the efforts to organize all this. A few other data sets when you included in the packet, but this is the critical piece to have this approved and
Thank you, everyone, for your work on this. Entertain a motion if there is one.
I'll make a motion. We accept resolution number 2025-27. The adopting the financial plan for funding for the 236th Street project. Eric Gifford.
Second, Daniel Bragg.
A motion second as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Passes. That is it for old business. Is there any other old business? And during the special presentation, we should have had Jennifer Miller introduce our new employee, but he's tied up right now. So make sure you wave at me before the meeting's over so we can have him come back up. We kind of threw him to the wolves early. New business ordinance 2025-12, amending the 2025 salary ordinance.
Councilors, this is or a continuation of an action item we considered last meeting, where you change the title of the inspector position. One matter of clarity is, you'll notice that on the screen, you have a red line version. So Mr. Bosma, the status as it relates to the FSLA, Fair Labor Standards Act, of the inspector position being exempt. There was a concern that without this specific language, the other mid-level manager would then be thrown into an exempt status. And in order for the clerk to be able to execute payroll for this position, this was a necessary change to actually amend an ordinance to simply a job title.
Anybody have any questions on that?
Clarify, this only makes exempt positions out of these specific titles listed rather than any catch-all language concerning managerial positions. That's good. Thank you.
Maybe while we're making some spelling corrections on the line regarding just lost it. HR/payroll clerk assistant. I think there's one too many zeros in that number.
So, Councilor Schrock, clean copy where those typos, use spelling type of graphical errors go out. So,
Okay.
in your folder, would you a clean copy that fixes those errors?
Yeah.
I didn't catch the additional zeros, some spelling errors.
It made it to the print. The error did. The hard copy.
Okay.
What he's referring to on the zero,
Yeah.
it's on the hard copy.
Great.
Updated for you. I can pop this list, make it, you sign copy,
So do we still sign this one?
yeah,
Okay,
with the changes.
with the red line version? Just in the motion, make it with,
Yeah.
For the red
changes
line.
Discussed the, our payroll purchase thing. I also remind you, this required a, suspension of rules passed on first reading, so unanimous consent happened first reading.
do we need to do that for timing?
Fairly so. That correct, Liz? Did it, process payroll?
Late, it's payable this Friday.
Be affirmative.
That would be a yes.
Yes, you need a motion to waive the rule, second reading. You can both vote, and then think this up.
I'll make a motion, we suspend the rules, the second. To exclude the second reading, Eric Gifford.
Second, Daniel Bragg.
Motion is second as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? They are suspended.
Add a motion to accept this regular description position with those noted changes by Councilor Schwab.
I'll make a motion, we accept the amended salary ordinance for 2025 with the noted changes mentioned by Councilor Schrock and other noted changes on the red line document. Eric Gifford.
Second, Daniel Bragg.
It's really a pain, isn't it?
A little different.
Motion is second as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Passes. We may come up with a different method. It sounds weird, not used to it. Second item on new business is the 2026 salary ordinance. We briefly discussed this a little bit about trying to get a work session for a group together to work on this. By this meeting, that did not happen. I think individuals kind of bounced some thoughts around via email. So I don't know if I'm just going to step back and let you guys start discussing this. I know that for information that was discussed amongst a few of us, in order to get something to propose in front of us, I put together the numbers through different conversations and handed to Jim Higgins. He did create a salary ordinance for 2026. Again, this is a discussion piece. We've got to start somewhere. We have 3 meetings to get this done, 3 left. Without any special meetings.
So we don't have one Thanksgiving.
Yep.
We have 2 in December.
Okay.
Preferably by the first, or it could make it really hard for changes in payroll to get done by the January 2nd payroll.
So that being said, go.
I will just say, there's probably one item of note, the elected officials are included in this particular ordinance. I think historically, there have been 2 separate ordinances, one for non-elected and one for elected. There's no hard and fast rule, but that precludes putting your elected officials in this ordinance, so it's all one-stop shop.
I asked Mr. Higgins that direct question after you and I talked, and that was formality was fine.
Is this with all the changes that we discussed?
Well, let's just start talking salary ordinance. I mean, I know the directors put together a budget and the budget was approved. And I think most of the budget had 10% raises across the board. Some were a little higher than that and some were a little lower. Is that a true statement, Jim? You might as well come to the podium. For the most part, the directors requested 10% in salary increases for their staff, and there's some that are higher than that and some that were lower.
Yes.
I mean, calculated out, I think Jennifer Miller was asking for 5 for her department and Liz was asking. for
5 and 4
5 and 4.
for planning, nothing for the new person because they weren't contemplated at the time of the budget.
Mhm.
And they had just started. The other departments were 10% across the board. The clerks, from the budget that I saw was 5%, but not for individuals, I think, and Liz can correct me if I'm wrong. It was a 5% for the staff, but thought of reducing one position that was vacant to allow her to give flexibility of raises amongst the staff members. Some could be higher than 5, some could be lower than 5.
Sure.
But the total across those would be 5.
And then the clerk treasurer's position
Had
was
a fixed dollar amount of an increase of about $422 a pay,
which equals around 13%.
about almost 13 and a quarter.
Okay. And then I do have a question for Liz. Are you filling that HR position? Are you interviewing currently?
I'd like to fill it, I still have time to leave.
Okay.
Trying somebody, if we're still clearing up the lessons from the last person.
So again, I turn it over to council to start a discussion.
Concerning the discrepancies in directorship raises compared to line raises, I know that there's been some discussion about why that may be higher for directorship positions compared to line officers. I would be interested in additional discussion concerning that matter. Are we significantly underpaying our directors compared to equivalent positions elsewhere, or is this just an arbitrary number, as I hate to say it like that?
Well, I think for the salary ordinance that is being proposed today shows a 4% pay increase for all hourly employees in the police, fire, planning department.
What has been proposed
Yeah.
in the ordinance is for council members, no increase. For the clerk, a 5% increase. For all directors, a 5% increase. The police chief is contractually obligated by the employment contract to a 5% increase. The others were not addressed in their contract, so a 5%. The public works director was a flat $10,000 increase, which amounts to about a 13% increase.
Right.
And that's to bring him up because he's lagging the other director's time. Correct.
Correct.
Yeah.
The line employees, as you say, Counselor Foote, 4% for all other employees, 6% for those in public works.
And then revisit in June.
And
After
your prerogative
Yes,
to
that's the plan,
revisit.
is to see what SB1 does. And primarily looking off the line item or the line employees at that time.
Right. There were no other adjustments to stipends or other items in there, other than the police and fire pension amounts that are based on first-class patrolman salary plus full longevity were adjusted by the 4% as well. So the ranges were all adjusted 4%.
And that's what's
Or
in
6.
the salary ordinance that you prepared.
Correct.
Okay.
A question concerning the 1077 fund and the proposed maximum class 1 patrolman and level 1 firefighter. Those proposed per 77 salaries are lower than the proposed salary. That's the
I just took 4% of whatever was in the 2025 ordinance and adjusted it by 4%. So I added 4% to whatever that number was.
Okay, that may be lagging, and we should probably revisit
Yeah.
that.
So again, if you look at the amended 2025 ordinance that you just adopted and increase those numbers by 4%, you should get the same number.
Counselor Foote, can you?
Yeah, what do you see?
restate
Yeah.
Your concern, I didn't catch that.
I'm trying to find that there's a lot of different documents floating around concerning this, so let me grab that.
I think attached. I attached what Jim sent me, which was the 2025 salary ordinance. And the new 2026 for all the counselors to review. I don't know individual pay in each of those ranges, but each classification had a range.
Right. And the way you have it now is the individual salaries are set, but you adopt a salary ordinance with a range.
Right.
Based on if people leave and come back, they're not necessarily brought in at that same level. So in order to accommodate whatever that rate was, I assumed that if you apply that rate to the range, you would fall in that number.
So Zach, I'll turn this question towards you. This is a first reading. We do have a salary ordinance prepared. In between now and the next meeting, that can change, right? And it doesn't affect the second reading? Okay.
Right.
So we're not going to suspend the rules tonight. I want everyone to take a look at this, and with whatever questions you have, Counselor Foote, please be prepared to email us this week or to come back with or reach out to Mr. Higgins to clarify that. But I think we have a foundation today to base next week or next meeting's decision on.
Specifically to cover the first 77 police fund, the town established 66,535.98 to be the highest non-promoted salary of first class officer. That's as listed in the salary ordinance. You run 26 pays at the proposed max, that's 77,571. And the same issue exists for fire.
So I'm looking 2025 on the screen, first class officer, which is gonna be what the pension basis factored on. 2868.76, and Mr. Higgins just did that times 0.04. And that gave you the upper limit.
But I think I see what you're saying, because
Yeah.
you're saying in the schedule, you took the max and ran it, that's not the number.
Correct.
I can clean that.
Okay.
For next.
Because the senior, the actual human beings likely not taking that amount, right, what we're suggesting.
I'm concerned that we are establishing a salary ordinance for any first class officer that has a pay established in 2026 of 77,571. And if anyone were to retire under the first 77 and they use our first class salary, we're saying that our first 77 salary is 66,535. A discrepancy of almost, over $11,000 that would impact that person's retirement the rest of their time. It's a typo or it's,
Well, it's a significant.
it's zero.
Well, and it's a good catch.
Yeah.
I mean, you're more in tune to that with your day job to understand what that means, and we're not. So do you understand all of that?
I do.
Okay. You were pretty active on emails today, Levi. Are there any questions or comments you want to?
Probably the first one would really just be when it came to putting this together, I think I missed the call to put my name in the hat for those who'd be willing to talk about it. So in lieu of that, as you put out the first round of this, that was really good. I appreciate the work that you did on it. And to that, this is a pretty complicated thing to email about, I think, if there was any lessons learned from today. So I don't know if there is a way we can kind of try to regroup, even if it's a small group of us, to work on these things in person between now and the next. If that call is still available, I'd volunteer some time to do it.
This is like the council with it.
Right.
There's 3, but serial meetings also violates the open door, the spirit of the open door.
Yeah, 3 of us can't meet and then talk to the other.
Be very mindful of that.
I tried to be very mindful on my email. Just we didn't say this. We were just shooting ideas.
Same rule applies in electronic communication, text messages, phone calls.
Yep.
Coffee shops.
So any other discussion on this, or?
I would like to say that I appreciate the directors shooting for what they shot for. It shows dedication to your people, and I appreciate that you're looking out for your people.
Think of, I did a little research, surrounding communities on their salary ordinances. I could not find anybody giving more than 4% right now. If anyone sees differently, let me know. I know that with the budget, with the 10%, and definitely we will look at this. No matter what we vote on next meeting, we'll take a look again in the June of 26 to see if more can be done, but I think we're in line with what other communities around us are doing, especially with SB1.
Well, I mean, if I may, I think it's worth mentioning. You all have other lives outside of this chamber. You provide in a total compensation perspective. Your health insurance is a PPO, is that correct? It's PPO. You just change your agent of record. Premium share is 95% the employer, 5% employee. That is significant in today's environment. Not discouraging you from continuing that process, that strategy. But it's real money and it's real benefit. And when you, as you think about that, the salary ordinance, it's also fitting to think of that component as well, in addition to the birth contributions and so on and so forth. So just 95.5 is not the radio station. It is a significant and meaningful benefit to your workforce.
So please, if you have time, research what other communities are doing as far as their contribution. I don't know, other than the school at the director level, it's 100%, but I don't know anybody else
Yeah.
that's knocking close to that, so. Any other discussion on salary ordinance 2026?
Chief Stern, are we within what we need to do for our dedication to the SAFER grant? I guess is a question.
So they just went back to work, so I haven't been able to get in contact with our.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's true.
liaison.
That's true.
I've sent an
Good point.
email. So hopefully when I get some clarification back from that next meeting, or your next meeting, we can clarify that. Also, I don't know that I've seen this exact document yet.
You haven't.
26 salary ordinance, but there was some things that I would like to change within the department concerning stipends and how they're paid to retain paramedics, the paramedic side. There's some wording that I would like the council to read to see that it might need to be changed within the salary ordinance.
The wording or dollar amounts?
Some wording, and the stipend dollar amount is paid out differently, so that was what I had hoped for in the 2026 budget, so I will email you all of that.
Sooner than later.
Tomorrow morning, so.
Yeah.
I'd encourage you, if you haven't done so already, get Mr. Higgins to make sure that works or change it.
Yeah, and I'm not so sure that our math is correct on well, I haven't seen it, so I'll be in touch with Mr. Higgins and copy you guys on.
Yeah, that was just my question on that, because I know we're bound by a salary on that SAFER grant, and, I don't want to undershoot our current employees for somebody new coming in. I mean, that's a, okay. As you sit up here, you put a lot of thought into these things because it goes with, it's people's livelihood, what they're bringing home to take care of their family. And, I think about this quite a bit. In my full-time job, I sit at home, I lay in bed and think about it. But with, Mr. Higgins saying, he's hoping maybe good things, changes come through legislative session. So, we don't want to put all our apples in one basket right off the bat. Partially fill that basket now and then revisit it with hopefully good news or other things come summertime.
Well, we will move on. Is there any other new business to discuss? Or do you have something else on this?
We should probably entertain motion to table. It will be proposed ordinance. For second reading, you have to take some kind of action on this, either approve on first reading or table it for second reading.
It does, wasn't what I wanted to do, but sure.
I'll make a motion to table the salary, 2026 salary ordinance until the next meeting. Eric Gifford.
Second, Daniel Bragg.
Have a motion and a second as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? So then we will have to suspend the rules next time. Okay. Any other new business? Director Miller. Would you like to introduce your new employee?
So this is a little after the fact, but
No, come on up.
I would like to introduce Brian Paddock, or as I understand, some locals may know him as Corey Paddock. Brian joined our team last week and has already gotten started assisting our Public Works Department with the encroachment permits, and spent today shadowing our building team so that he can start getting up to speed on their processes and procedures. So with that, I'm going to let Brian say hello again.
Hello. Hi.
Do you prefer Corey or Brian?
It makes no difference. I specifically said that some may know me as Corey because I went to school with both Eric and Daniel. And so they both probably saw Brian Paddock and thought somebody else.
Well, Corey it is.
So that's fine.
So do you know Mr. Wallace?
Mr. Who?
Wallace.
Vance?
He's
Ye-
gonna be
yes.
our friend. Right?
That would be Kermit.
So anyway, welcome aboard
Thank you.
and sorry for putting you on the spot so quick.
Nope. I'm happy to answer any questions and be as much as help to the community as I possibly can.
So being new to this chamber, it echoes. So anything you're saying that back row, we can hear you crystal clear up here. And even if you go all the way down the hall, we can still hear you. So pretty
Noted.
much until the remodel's done, you just need to go outside,
Noted.
right?
So,
Yep.
Yep.
He's not wrong.
All right, we will see you next time then. Good luck.
Yep.
Thank you.
Any other finance or budget update? I think we've taxed you to death tonight, haven't we?
We're good.
We're good. All right. Attorney report?
Beyond what we have discussed tonight, we just anticipate the closing of the previous bond documents for later this week or early next.
Okay. Give the order. Anybody at council have any?
I didn't know if this was new business, but it's Santa mailbox is coming up. I usually put it out Black Friday. I'm just making sure everybody's still good with me putting it in the lobby of the town hall. Okay.
Now,
Well, it's true. It is
question,
moving.
do you have a date that you will be moving your office, Liz?
Trying to pack stuff, they can't do that in work too, so. I don't know if I can start working that through yet or not, they're having problems with it.
So Dennis Nell has signed off that is ready for occupancy.
Dennis didn't sign, it was Mike,
Okay.
Mike the inspector.
Banning signed off.
Yeah.
Did you do it? That's better. Heidi Kingholtz, want to say anything about the
Heidi Keenholz. First and foremost, I want to speak on behalf of the park board. And as you can see, if you haven't noticed on the in the park area over there, we have phase 1 complete, and I believe some kids have already been enjoying that. So I'd like to thank everyone on the council that have made that funding possible for us. So on behalf of the Park Board, thank you very much, sirs. As far as the Sheridan Main Street Inc., I'd like to remind everybody that we have our tree lighting ceremony on the first Saturday of December. That's December 6th at 5 p.m. And everybody is invited. There will be singing, there will be trivia. It'll be a really fun time for the kids. There will be a countdown for the Christmas tree lighting. There's going to be hot drinks to keep everybody warm. So please make sure that everybody, that you invite all your friends and neighbors. And so it would be a great community event. So that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Public comment? Yes, Department.
Members of the council, Parvin Gillum, 310 South Main Sheridan. And, I think it's important sometimes to point out what are, I think, going above and beyond what might be considered, daily routine. But I want to give a big shout out to Chief Nielsen and his department, but specifically Detective Luke. I should have mentioned this at the last meeting, but because this was a Halloween event and my wife, Laura, has sort of spearheaded in the window of our office building, the Halloween Town. And so she put up this storyline that I think a lot of people enjoyed, where there was a prankster in the Halloween Town that was putting toilet paper in the trees. And so she was asking people to try to figure out who that might be. Well, as sort of at the end part of that whole story was she asked Chief Nielsen if one of the policemen might be able to just give an interview regarding this. And actually the chief put it upon Detective Luke. He showed up in a white shirt and tie, had his full belt of instruments on, and he was all set and ready to go. And it was a great interview. And I think everybody really enjoyed it. I know my wife posted it, and I hope that everybody got to see it, but I just wanted to say that I think that was just a really nice that both Chief Nielsen and Detective Luke got a big kick out of it and did that. And again, just a big shout out to the Sheridan Police Department and their staff. It's just they're an awesome group.
Thank you.
Vance Wallace, I think a couple of months ago, you on the board made a comment that we wasn't gonna put up with fiber optic like Kirkland did. It's a mess. There is no uniformity in these boxes. There is no uniformity where they're at. Just like I mentioned last week, 2 weeks ago, got one sitting next to a light pole that's gonna have to come out, which is stupid. The employee was very rude. These employees for this fiber optic should be made to wear a yellow vest because we don't know who they are. Any place in town. Georgia Street, 905, 903, and 901 South, across the street from me, they've got these boxes laying right next to the sidewalk to be put in the ground. There is a gas line there. There is a water line. There is an easement on the east side of this property because there's 2 light poles on the east side of this light pole. And there is a Duke just put in a new pole. I don't know why they're not staying in the easements. Why are they trying to crowd into another one's easement? They are putting boxes where they are going to have to be hit. The corner of 9th Street and the alley between Main and Georgia, there is a box sitting in the alley. And if someone has to go down that alley to do a maintenance on Duke or the gas company, this box is in the road. They are just helter-skelter on where they're putting this stuff. And like you say, Mr. Devaney, they should be ground level. We shouldn't have to be mowing around these stupid boxes. It's just helter-skelter. I got a call about 5 o'clock asking the question, why wasn't there an order, a boil water order issued this afternoon on a busted water line someplace between Ohio and California, south of around 4th Street or 3rd Street? Someone had a busted water line. People got told they had to boil the water. Every other town makes a notification of this. I don't know if this is true or not, but I got a call to find out. So I don't know. But this fiber optic company is a pain in the butt. Thank you.
Thank you. Corey back there, he's your friend. I'm being serious on that because we haven't been able to keep up with following up behind them, so.
I understand it because they're all over town at one time. And thank you.
Action to pay accounts payable vouchers.
I make a motion, we pay the accounts payable vouchers. Daniel Bragg.
Second, Eric Gifford.
Got a motion and second as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Passes. Upcoming meetings, next town council meeting is December 2nd. Other boards and commissions, BZA, November 20th, APC, November 20th, Park Board, November 19th, and RDC, November 25th. I've got no statement tonight, so other than I appreciate the efforts of Mr. Higgins and the directors for the budget, and especially Mr. Higgins with helping out with the salary ordinance. I spent a lot of time with Mr. Higgins. I'm asking this council to step up and do a little bit more. Seems like I'm carrying the burden on a lot of this, and my shoulders are getting narrow. And I asked last meeting for this council to step up and email or do something to try to do something, and it was the final hour, and I finally had to spit something out to get a ball rolling. And at 3 o'clock today, we got emails going back and forth. So you guys need to take a deep look. And sorry, but if you don't want to be on this, then get off because you're stealing money. That's my opinion. I mean, for God's sakes, we got one person that makes motions up here. If you don't want part of this, then step down. I'm just at my boiling point at this. This is, and it's not just me, because I can see the faces out there nodding. You guys, some of you guys need to step up. Seriously, most of you guys ran for this. Dave and I have been doing this for a long time. And step up or stop stealing money, donate it back. If you want the glory of the role, donate your money back. That's all I have to say. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn. Eric Gifford.
Second, Daniel Bragg.
No motion second as presented. All those in favor?